Hello and welcome everyone to Learn a Trade. My name is Kevin Tate. Thank you for joining me today. Today's broadcast is titled FBD Slurpee Gear Motor Replacement, also a water leak repair. This is a site that I serviced for many years now, um, at least I'd say over 15 years. I've serviced this location, and they were one of my first customers as far as an independent service provider, and some issues with their three-barrel Slurpee machine. This is a 773 model Slurpee machine, and what they ran into was the on the three barrels. If there is an issue with the beater motors, or if there's a bricks issue with a barrel, with any one of the barrels, eventually all three barrels will end up shutting down, and the machine will go into a compressor run too long error message. So I wanted to take some time and go over this Slurpee machine issue and the repair. And also, I am also going to go over a little bit of the some of the equipment that this customer has on site, just to show you like the amount of work that is available in this industry on the commercial side. I'm gonna just go over a few of the other pieces of equipment, but more so I'm gonna focus on the FBD Slurpee machine, the gear motor repair. Now the gear motor is the motor right down in the back of the barrels. So, you have three separate gear motors for a gear motor for each barrel, and this allows the beater bar to spin around in the barrel, and the blades on the beater bar are used to, while they're turning, they're going to scrape off the ice that builds up on the inside of the barrel, which creates the slushy texture of the product inside the barrels. So on this one, I'm gonna kind of go back and forth and pause it just to go over some details on some of the uh, areas that I go into on the menu, just so you can kind of become a little more familiar with the service menu, and we'll go through it. So right here, I'm starting with I'm going through the fault code history right here, and as you can see on the screen, it says I'm just going through the error codes that have been coming up, and the more recent error code was compressor ran too long error message, and that came through on the 17th. And then I'm going to go through a few more of the settings just to uh, take a look at the readouts and go into the service menu on these. And right now, this is barrel two that is giving the issue. Um, just a little background on this unit. I was at this site maybe about 2 to 3 months ago, and I did notice that the second barrel on this Slurpee machine was making noise, and I can tell by the noise that the bearings were bad, and the the motor was making noise at that time. So I did inform the owner about that, and he wanted to wait on it. So we went ahead and I went ahead and completed the call at that time, and I just told him to give me a call because I knew eventually that this uh, unit was going to go down if that motor wasn't changed. So this is why I'm back out at the site, because the machine finally went down completely, and they needed some service. So this is why I'm going right to the barrel number two, and I'm going to try to turn on the sound a little bit. Most of this I have turned off the sound because the background noise is a little too much. So I went ahead and I'm going to turn on the sound so you can kind of hear once I start testing the barrels. Sorry about that, it's a little loud. Yeah, so the owner was talking to me during that time, so a lot of times I like to just leave the volume down. So that's always something that you can look into when you are checking out a machine. Go into the service menu and check out your fault codes. See what you got for fault readings and stuff like that. As you can see on this one, it has a compressor ran too long, and a lot of times that can be a lot of different issues. That could be a bricks issue. That could be a beater motor issue. That could be a refrigeration issue. It could have a low charge on the system. In this case, it was the beater motor issue. So we'll just go from there. And then right now, I'm just getting the lower front panel off because I am going to need to access that area once I get ready to empty the barrel and change that motor. I'll also end up having to go in the back of the machine as well. So just give it a moment. Let me get that off, and then I'm going to start working on that, testing out those motors. And first, what I'm going to look for is I'm going to get go to the active charge on here. I just want to check to make sure that there is no syrup in the active charge line, because sometimes with these units, the bladder tanks, which hold the syrup on one end of the tank, and then it has the CO2 pressure on the other end of the tank. Sometimes those rupture, and when those rupture, excuse me, when those rupture, it's gonna cause liquid to go into the CO2 line to seep through that CO2 line. So right here, I'm just showing you what I'm looking at. You got your syrup solenoid valve right there for barrel three. You got your transducers in the back. You got your water pump. You have your other syrup solenoid and your syrup solenoid for barrel number one and two. And those are your transducers. And that right there is your active charge. That's the active charge. And the reason I was testing that was, like I said, I just wanted to uh, see if I could, if I seen any liquid in that line, or if I was getting any liquid through that valve, which I wasn't. So that's showing you that those bladder tanks, which you're seeing right there, these bladder tanks are good. So we don't have any ruptured bladder tanks. So that's something that you should try to see if you have any leakage like that that could be coming from a possible bad bladder tank. And in that case, you would want to change the bladder tank, and you would want to either clean out or replace the active charge valve, because when syrup gets in there, if you don't clean it out, if you don't have a new one to replace it with, then you could go ahead and disconnect your active charge, and then you want to just rinse that active charge valve out to make sure that it's clean and dry. Because if you leave old syrup in there, it's just going to end up sticking and causing more issues later on. And then going up top, you're looking at the hot gas valves right here. If you can see the cursor moving around, those are your hot gas valves. You got three of those, and then you have just above those you have three pulse valves. Your pulse valves, when it's freezing down, you that's what you're hearing when you hear that clicking sound. Those are your pulse valves uh, letting refrigerant through. And then if you take a look at this up top here, right up here, you see how dirty that filter, that air filter is. So I'm going to have to remove that filter, clean that out, and then I will also clean out that condenser coil just to make sure everything's cleaned out before I wrap it up. But that screen is real dirty. You can see it all coming out there. And at this site, I usually just go ahead and take that to the back room and wash it out real good, and then I clean off the condenser coil. Right now, I'm going back into the service menu so I can you see right there. I went into the service menu. When you go to service, this is something that some of you may not be aware of, but when you get to that service screen, when you can't just press the select button to go into the service on these 7 series Slurpee machines. You have to press the middle button down below where my thumb is, and then you have to press that middle uh, select button at the same time. You press those at the same time, then it will bring you into this service menu that you see right here. And then here I'm going to scroll down to manual on and off. And then you can see right there, you got your manual on off for your beater motor. And that's for barrels 1, 2, and 3 right here. Your gas solenoid, your solution solenoid, your defrost solenoid, your expansion solenoid, your ready light. You can test all of this stuff right there manually, and you can make sure that the proper functions are happening. Okay. So right now I'm going to test out that beater motor for barrel 2 or barrel 1 first. I'm going to turn that on. Let me turn on the sound so you can kind of hear. So I have barrel number 1 on right now. And now I'm going to turn on barrel 2 so you can hear barrel 2. Barrel 2 is really loud. You can hear it. You can hear the difference. So I just shut it off. That was just to confirm that what I suspected was happening. That the beater motor is bad and that needs to be replaced because when it freezes down, that beater motor is going to stick. It's not going to turn correctly, and then eventually it will cause the unit to shut down. See in there, right there, I'm testing barrel number 3, and it's quiet and it's smooth, so there's no issue there. So it's barrel number 2. Barrel barrel number 2 is the one that is causing the issues. Uh, strugg you can hear it struggling as it's uh, turning. So right there, I'm going to open up that top panel. That's the control, the ax to get access to the control panel. This is going to give me access to the control board, to the capacitors, the transformer, the contactor, all of the start components. So as you can see there, that's the right here is the contactor. Got the 45 microfarad capacitor. Then up top here, you have your control board. You have your transformer and everything's right up there. It's really good access um, to these boards and everything. It's very good to be able to have that access. So right now, I'm just emptying out that barrel um, number 2. Just going to empty that barrel out. You can see the old product that I'm getting out of there. And then I'm going to remove the faceplate, um, remove the beater bar, and then I'm going to go to the back of the machine and access the gear motors and then remove the gear motors as well. Yeah, right now you got to use a like a slotted screwdriver. You can't really see it too good right there, but use a slotted screwdriver to kind of ease that faceplate out. And I've taken off the faceplate and I removed the beater bar, and now I'm just removing the excess product that was left in the barrel, just to get it all cleaned out. And then I'm going to work on removing the rear seal as well. That's my rear seal remover tool. FBD does also have a rear seal tool that they use. That's the rear seal that I just removed. So I got that out of there. And now I'm just going to get everything set up so I can go to the back. That's the faceplate that I took off. I'm gonna leave that sitting to the side for a minute until I get done with the motor replacement. And that's the gear motor part number right there. For those of you who might want to take it down, it's 12-0291-0003. That's the part number for that gear motor. Some people call it the beater motor. I call it the gear motor, but that's what the gear motor looks like. It's got a capacitor on it attached to it already. It's got the coupling already on the drive shaft. And now I'm in the back of the unit, and I'm going to go ahead and remove those screws and then get that panel off, and then we'll be ready to start removing that old beater motor, the bad beater motor. It's a little tight back there, so I didn't really have that good of an angle to get in there, but I believe you can all see that gear motor. That's the one that I'm going to be removing for barrel number 2. That's my wrench tool that I use. I use an extension, 2 extensions actually, and a Allen key extension, and then that gets me in there enough to remove those bolts that are holding the gear motor in place. And you want to just try to get them out as easy as you can without losing the bolt or the washer. A lot of times these little pieces fall off and disappear on you. So just be careful. Get a good hold on your screws and stuff. I usually have a spot where I'll set them to the side, or I'll use a magnetic tray or a cup and just sit them all in a cup so I don't misplace them. Right now, I'm just disconnecting the power wire for the motor. Separate that now, and then that way, when I get the bolts off, I can just pull that motor right out. Right now, with the weather change and everything going on, the calls should be picking up for a lot of you out there. If you're independent service providers, you'll notice your call volume start picking up when the weather starts getting warmer. A lot of establishments want to get their equipment serviced. That's the old motor right there. Just pulled that out. Gonna put that aside and clean out that port where the motor coupling goes through. You want to clean that out good. Make sure it's nice and clean. There it is there. So that little white port, you want to make sure that's clean all around there. Clean it out. Clean up around the base. That's the new motor that I'm putting in place now. Gonna just clean up a little more on that base plate for the for the motor to go on to. Try to clean up any residual dried syrup and stuff that may have leaked down there because it did have a small leak. So in this case too, when you change out the rear, uh, the gear motor, you'll also want to replace that rear seal as well. So you're going to be putting in a new motor, and we're going to be putting in a new rear seal. Okay, just got a, looks like one more bolt to go in there, and then it should be all set. Just gonna connect power to the motor. And then we'll be ready to put everything back in place on the rear of that machine, and then put the rear panel back on. And that's the new motor in place, connected. Got my terminals connected. Put the inlet tube back in place so that the rear panel doesn't damage the tubing. Now I'm just getting the rear panel back on, and then we'll be good to go to the back to the front of the machine and proceed with the repair. On this one, on that number two barrel, they had a different flavor for it, so I am going to end up replacing a bib fitting in the back room to match up with the bib box that they have. I'll be replacing a bib connector in the back room, and then I'm going to come back out to the front, and then I'm going to do that flavor change for them because they had Coke flavor on that number two barrel, and they want the blue raspberry flavor on there instead. So I'm going to change that flavor over from Coke to blue raspberry. Okay, and now we're back in the front. Got my rear seal. That's the part number for the rear seal, if any of you might need it. That part number for the rear seal is 4003 010003, and that's for your FBD rear seals. So right now I'm just going to lube up my used out Dow 111 lube is what we usually use. on the parts. It's food safe, and you use it to lube up your seals, your O-rings, stuff like that. Now I'm just going to get that rear seal in place, make sure it's in good, and then I will reassemble the number two barrel, and then we'll be able to do the flavor change and then fill the barrel. So here I'm just showing you what that rear seal looks like. That's the rear seal right back here. And when you have it lubed up, you can get it in place, and then you just use your finger to go around that seal. Make sure that it's seated in good. Okay, make sure you got a good your seal seated in. You don't want it sticking out. It should be flush with this stainless steel part here. Okay, so just make sure you get that seal in there good. Now I'm installing the beater bar, which is in good shape. It's not in bad shape, so there's no need to replace that. Putting everything back in place, and then gonna get that faceplate cleaned up, and then put that back on and secure it. Some service techs don't use lube on the faceplate O-ring, but I do. I use a light coat of lube around that O-ring on the faceplate. By the way, you don't want to uh, overdo it with lube on that. You can just a light coat around there will help that seal stay fresh. It won't get real brittle on you or anything, start leaking eventually. So it's always good to put a little lube on those O-rings. Got that air filter cleaned. The condenser is cleaned out. Put that back in place, and now I'm going to the back room. I'm going to go ahead and replace that bib connector. Once I get some stuff cleared out the way, right there, that's the line that I'm going to change the bib connector on to attach to that box, that box of blue raspberry product there. You just do you can just pinch off your line, and then go ahead and cut the old bib connector off, and then insert your clamp, and then put your new bib connector on. That green bib connector, that's considered they they call it either a Encore bib connector, or they'll call it a Pepsi connector. The red connectors are considered Coke connectors. So I've got that connected now. I've got the new bib connector on there. My CO2 levels are good. You're up around 75 psi. And now I'm just going to go ahead and purge my syrup line. So I'm just purging that line. I opened up the solenoid for the sample tube, and I'm just purging through that sample tube until I get all of that Coke syrup is out of the line, and then you'll start seeing the blue raspberry come through, and then that's where I can go ahead and brix that flavor. Make sure I have a level of around 14 for the brix level, and then I'll go ahead and let that tank, let that barrel fill up, and then we'll be ready to test it, let it freeze down after it fills up. You can see it's the blue raspberries coming through now. So I'm just going to go ahead and purge some more, and then I'll take a bricks reading, and then I'll go from there. If you're new to the industry, it's always good to have those buckets. Have a number of different size buckets that you can use when you're working on this beverage equipment in these commercial sites, because it comes in handy. So now I'm going to go into my menu, and then I'm going to go refill the barrel. Okay, hit yes, and then you can see the barrel starting to fill with the product. Now the barrel's full. Now I'm going to go ahead and let that freeze down. Then I'm going to go ahead and refill the other barrels if they need it, and then allow them to freeze down as well. Okay, got all three barrels now going. Everything's freezing down. I'm going to give it some time, let it freeze down. I'm going to go to my readouts in the menu. Let's see if we can take a look here. So now I'm in my common readouts. So your common readouts, it's basically showing you what the H2O pressure is, what your water pressure is, what your unregulated CO2 pressure is. That's at 73. Your regulated CO2 is at 57 right now. 60 is preferable, but it's within range. My active charge, it's at 27.1. The active charge usually will get up to 30 psi. Okay, and then my refrigeration on the low side is at 71 psi, and my refrigeration on the high side is at 294. My line voltage is 233. My return temp is at 39 degrees Fahrenheit. My superheat is at 8 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, and my duty cycle is at 33%. So those are some of the readings that you're going to see in your common readouts section of the service menu. And eventually you'll see me go over to this line here, the barrel, and then that will allow you to see what each barrel is doing. So now I went over to barrel, and as you can see, it shows you barrel 1, 2, and 3. And then it'll let you know the beater percentage of each barrel. It'll let you know the barrel pressure, each barrel's pressure at that time. It'll let you know the syrup pressures, and it'll also give you the baseline. Okay, and when the next defrost is going to come up. Okay. So this is a great tool to use to be able to go to your readouts while the machine is running, because then you can see what your pressures are, what your temperatures are, and that will tell you a whole lot as you're troubleshooting the machine. And as you can see, these are freezing down nicely. That's the blue raspberry. It's back up and running. The wild cherry and the Coke is also good to go. that's about it on that. Um, that's changing out the beater motor, or if you want to call it the gear motor. Either one is fine. It doesn't matter. But that's that's the basically that's what you would do when replacing a gear motor on an FBD. And now I'm also gonna I got a little more to this video, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go through. I just wanted to show you a few pieces of other equipment that you will find in these commercial sites. Mom and pop shops, um, your your uh, your mainstream C stores like Cumberland Farms, 7-Eleven, Quick Trips, um, a number of them. You'll see other equipment that needs service or that will need service eventually. So this was something that I seen in there at this site. I've worked on Stoughton before in the past, and I don't do a lot with Stoughton lately, but this customer, they do have a contract with Stoughton, so they do have a service provider that comes out to take care of these. But if you're in your particular area, you might have other sites that have these types of equipment. They have three of these machines here, and these machines always are in need of service. They have the cooler, they have the freezers, reach in coolers, and then the soda. They have the fountain machine. They have the ice maker. You've seen the walk-ins there, and then the coffee brewer, chili cheese machine, or a creamer. And this right here is a cappuccino machine. It's a Curtis cappuccino machine, and I'm not sure if you can make it out, but it needs service. And I've mentioned to them that I could service those if they need it. But as you can see here, it says water level error, so it's in a water level error, so it's not filling correctly. So that's another piece of equipment that's always in need of some type of service. So just when you're in these sites, take a look at these things, and then see what they have in their stores, and it'll give you an idea on what you can present to them as far as providing service. And now I'm going to get into a water filter, not a water filter replacement, but a water leak repair. This is the back room that I'm in right now, and this site, they had a steady leak coming from their valve, um, coming from the outlet side of the filters, so that it was a constant leak. So what they had was they had a fitting, a plastic fitting, um, that hose was connected to, and it was cracked, so it was just leaking constantly. So I went ahead and repaired that for them. So I figured I'd also include this into the video. So that's where that line was at, and that's the fitting right there. That's the fitting. You can see how it and that's the tubing. I cut the tubing back because that fitting just snapped off. It just broke right in half, and it's inside of the line. So I cut that line back, and I still had enough slack where I'm going to be able to put a new fitting in place, and then get that back up and going too without any leaks. So, and this is the fitting that I'm going to put in there. just going to put a little Teflon tape around the threads, and then get that fitting back in there, and then we'll get the line reconnected. Right now, in order to do this, you just have to depressurize your water, shut off your incoming water coming into the filter system. You want to shut that off, and then you want to open up your filter drain, and then you'll be able to drain that pressure off so that you can go ahead and work freely without having to worry about any further leaks while you're working. And now for those of you who are independent service providers, this is something where you could take it, and if something like this came up where I was on this job to work on a Slurpee machine, but if I find other issues, I let them know about it, and then I ask them if they want me to go ahead and take care of it while I'm here. And then most times they're going to say yeah, but it's always good to let the customer be aware that they have an issue and that you can fix it, or if you got to get parts for it, let them know that you have to get parts, and then you can come back if they want you to repair it. And now I got that system back up and going. You can see my water pressure is back up around 60 psi. That's the fitting that I put on right there, right here. That fitting is back on, and it's operational. And then that's the line that's connected to it. But it's all good to go. It's all good to go. And that's all I have on this right now. That was a FBD Slurpee gear motor replacement and a water leak repair while I was on site. I hope this was helpful to you all. I hope you all are getting something or got something out of this, and I look forward to doing more. Like I said, I thank you all for watching the videos. I appreciate those who are sending good comments, and for those that are not finding these videos helpful, let me know what you're looking for. Let me know, if you're looking for a more intense type of training or something like that. Maybe I could guide you to some other channels that would be able to provide you with the in-person training dates and stuff like that, like Mike Reed's channel. Mike Sneed, he also has training information at his channel. So, it's plenty of places you could go. So, I just appreciate those who have chosen to check out the Learn a Trade channel videos. And for those of you that feel that these videos are not helpful to you, let me know as well. And, maybe I can guide you to somewhere where you'll be able to get the information you're looking for. But I'd like to thank all of the channel members. I'd like to thank the website members. I appreciate you all, and I look forward to doing more videos in the near future. Thank you all for watching. Take care and stay well.